Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar, run through the weather warnings as we have got numerous weather warnings issued for this weekend, as we are going to see pretty stormy conditions move through on Saturday as we do see a big weather front approach from the west. We've got both rain and wind warnings that are issued for extensive parts of the British Isles, so I'll look at that in a few minutes. Then we'll look at the latest UKV, look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days, as the generally unsettled conditions are going to continue into next week, but by the middle of next week things could turn drier and turn colder once again. We're not talking about any wintry cold spell or anything like that. We're talking about an inversion taking place under higher pressure, as it does look like we'll see a big area of high pressure build in and sit right over the top of us, perhaps lasting all the way towards the middle into this latter part, into the second half of the month. What happens beyond that, though, as we'll see from the latest GFS, GM, Eastern WF and the ensembles, is very uncertain. But we are continuing to see runs developing cold or even very cold conditions as we approach the Christmas period. We're getting out to sort of the 20 to 23rd of December now. We are seeing some very cold evolutions. The last 3 GFS runs have all produced very cold northerly or easterly winds in the days leading up to Christmas. The ensembles now are all dipping below average as we head into the latter part of December. So it is looking more than likely that things are going to be turning colder and perhaps wintry. But of course, we'll look at that in more detail in the second half of the video. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe. And remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. Now, to start on the live radar, you can see rain already moving in from the west, but it is just sort of initial areas of rain before the main weather front moves in overnight into the morning. Heavy rain for much of Scotland here, especially southern Scotland. Heavy showers elsewhere, and we're starting to see more persistent rain head into the southwest. So pretty miserable in places, but the really heavy stuff, the windy stuff as well, not arrived yet. Temperatures are pretty mild for the time of year. Lots of yellows here, so temperatures around the high single digits or even low double digits, as we do have a southwesterly wind coming in. It's pretty mild indeed, a good 3 or 4 degrees above average, maybe even higher in places. So complete contrast to this time last week where it was freezing cold. If we do have a look at the weather warnings, you can see as we head overnight tonight, we've got a rain warning issued for southern Scotland, and that's for that heavy rain we can see at the moment, but it lasts all the way to 9 p.m. tomorrow, as we do see more heavy rain move in. You can see again 30 to 50 millimetres, possible widely, maybe 60 to 80 millimetres over higher ground. Medium likelihood, lower end of the impact matrix. Into tomorrow, we've got more extensive warnings issued as well. Got a rain warning issued for Northern Ireland here from 6 a.m. until 7 p.m. Again, 20 to 30 millimetres possible, widely 40 to 55 millimetres over higher ground. We've got a third rain warning issued for the far south of England and towards southwestern areas. Quite a small area actually, and it's from 1 a.m. until 9 a.m. And again, it's because of a lot of rain we've seen recently in these specific areas. It means the rainfall tonight could cause more issues. Only 10 to 20 millimetres, maybe as much as 30, which doesn't sound amazing by itself, but on top of all the rain we've seen recently, it could cause quite significant issues. And then we've got some really widespread wind warnings. We've got a warning issued for Northern Ireland from 9 a.m. until 11:45 tomorrow. Again, could see 45 to 55 miles per hour widely, 60 to 70 miles per hour across Irish Sea coast. And then a widespread warning issued across much of northern England and southern Scotland, and that has the same description as that warning across Northern Ireland. So very heavy rain around for all even areas not in the weather warning. Still going to see heavy disruptive rainfall perhaps, and very strong winds as well. So a proper stormy, unsettled day arriving tomorrow. Now, if we do have a look at the latest UKV, we'll be able to see this evolve over the next few days. You can see rain moving in from the west at the moment, but the main weather front really only arrives as we head into the morning, giving some really heavy rain for many areas. And you can see more very heavy precipitation rates into the southwest there through the morning. It's going to be pretty horrible But as we head into the afternoon, things do clear, especially further southwards, where it does go slightly drier through the afternoon into the evening, for eventually the weather front does clear and the low pressure clears the whole of the British Isles. Then we see another westerly flow come back in with more weather fronts, more heavy rain through Sunday afternoon, and then we see more rain just approaching from the west for Sunday evening into Monday. More showery though, so less persistent rain, but still pretty horrible and indeed, and that continues all the way into Wednesday before things start to turn a bit drier, colder, as we do start to put a bit of a colder air on the back edge of that low pressure system does clear, but this is because higher pressure is starting to build in. You can see it's starting to extend in here by 3 p.m. on Wednesday, and it will continue to build in the days following and potentially dominate the middle third of December. Now, if you do have a look at the wind gusts, just for the next sort of 24 hours, you can see relatively strong gusts tonight across Irish Sea coast, but really the strongest winds arrive tomorrow, where it could see widely 40 to 60 miles per hour, maybe as high as 70 miles per hour, especially in those Irish Sea coast areas. So not surprised to see a yellow warning. Nothing too severe, but definitely warranted a yellow warning, just to be aware that we could see some very strong winds in places. If you look at the temperatures, you can see it is pretty mild again today, 10, 11 degrees at best, which is still really quite mild for the time of year. As we progress into Saturday, even milder, maybe 11 or 12 degrees in the far south, where that rain does clear, again with southwesterly winds moving in. It is proper mid-Atlantic air. And then as we head into Sunday, we start to see again temperatures maybe 12 or 13 degrees. As we head into Monday, we see temperatures cool down a little bit, maybe more 8 to 11. Tuesday, slightly fresher again, 8 to 10, and much colder for Scotland. And then for all areas into Wednesday, pretty chilly overnight. For northern areas, frost could return. By the afternoon, only 5 or 6 degrees, and that could set the precedent for the days and perhaps even the week following this as we do head towards the Christmas period. So we do have a look at that longer term in detail. We were able to see it is shaping up to be incredibly interesting as we head towards the Christmas period. You can see westerly winds approaching at the moment. As we head into the middle of next week, high pressure extends in and starts to build over the top and really starts to dominate by next weekend. So in around 7-8 days time is when it really starts to dominate. Again, here if we look at the upper air temperatures, it's actually pretty mild, but at the surface you'll find that it's actually pretty chilly. You see down towards the mid single digits or low single digits here. Dew points pretty cold as well, and that is because we are seeing an inversion take place under this high pressure, and you can see temperatures in the day may struggle to get much above 4 to 6 degrees. So again, not freezing cold, but definitely a lot colder than if you just looked at these synoptics by themselves. Again, if you look at those upper air temperatures, you'd be expecting perhaps even low teens, but we're 5 to 8 degrees below that because of that inversion. Beyond that, this is where we see the huge uncertainty. All models pretty much get to here at day 10. We've got high pressure building in, lots of high pressure dominating the North Atlantic, trying to ridge northwards. Now, as I said, the GFS here, this is the third consecutive run that has done this. It extends the high pressure up towards Greenland, and it builds in a bitterly cold northerly wind as we head into the days approaching Christmas. As we progress towards Christmas Eve, we continue to see northerly winds and even low pressure sliding over that higher pressure, and that could gain the risk of snow as we head into the Christmas period. So we'll have to see exactly how it does play out, but another GFS run which shows a very cold evolution into the days leading up to Christmas. We can run back to the 6 o'clock run, again very cold air, flat northerly wind approaching, even more blocked than the midday run, and the midnight run, again with very cold northerly or even northeasterly winds as we head into Christmas Eve. This would be bitterly cold, and it would be very snowy as well. It would be widespread wintry potential. The upper air temperatures are freezing cold, a lot colder widely than the cold spell we saw last week. 2 meter temperatures here, widely below freezing. Dew points widely below freezing, so no issues with rain mixing in. This would all be falling as snow coming in from the northeast. We would likely see plenty of wintry showers approaching from the northeast. So yeah, all 3 GFS runs showing very cold conditions. The GFS being pretty bullish here that cold weather could be returning as we head into the lead up to Christmas. If you do compare to the GEM, it only goes out to day 10, so we're unlikely to see the same evolution as the GFS. But it'll be interesting to see what it shows at day 10 regardless. Again, the high pressure built in, and very similar to the GFS, it is very bullish in building that high pressure in and attempting to ridge it northwards. At this stage, though, we're not seeing any cold evolution. Again, the GFS produced that into the days following this, whereas the GM just gets to the area where we have higher pressure and have a bit of an inversion taking place over the UK here, where it's only 3 or 4 degrees, maybe only 2 or 3 degrees in places under the centre of the high. So it would be very cold even when there is zero risk of anything wintry weather at all. If we do finish by having a look at the ECMWF, again, westerly winds continue to come in over the coming days. Again, we do start to see that high pressure build in, and by day 10, it is firmly built in. Only caveat here is slightly more of a stronger jet stream means the high pressure is slightly further southwards, which would allow more of a flat westerly to come in, or more air to come in around the high, which probably would stop the inversion in more areas, and again, would be very interesting to see how this does evolve in the days following. All 3 runs very consistent with where they get to at day 10, with high pressure dominating the North Atlantic, trying to push northwards, and at this stage they're having no success by the 17th, 18th of December, but the GFS continues to show success into around that 20th of December onwards. And we've seen this from the latest ensembles. Up and down over the next week as low pressure continues to dominate, and then you can see that colder little plunge there as we head into sort of next Wednesday, Thursday time, as we do see that northeasterly wind come in on the backside of the low. But in the days following that, big bump in upper air temperatures. That's when the high pressure builds in. You can see it goes very dry in the precipitation. But, as said, the surface temperatures are unlikely to reflect those upper air temperatures. And then, around the 20th of December, you can see a drop, and you can see a drop from a lot of the ensemble members, maybe around 2/3 of them, so maybe even 3/4 trend towards that -5 line. So it does look like a lot of the ensemble members are in agreement that we're going to be unsettled the next sort of 5 to 7 days. Then it's going to go high pressure dominated, really mild upper air temperatures, but the surface pretty cold. And then the chances of a properly cold evolution, a wintry evolution, let's say, starts to emerge from around the 20th of December onwards. Again, it's still sort of 12 days away, so there is pretty poor confidence in modelling at this range. But the fact that multiple GFS runs are showing it, consecutive GFS runs are showing it, and the ensembles are trending that way, definitely means that it is gaining in strength within the models. You can have a look at the 2 meter temperatures. It is going to be cold even with that bump in upper air temperatures. Very few are actually mild. Those ones will be like the ECMWF with more air coming around the high, stopping that inversion, but still pretty generally pretty cold into the longer term. The dew points are going to be pretty cold as well. Again, above freezing, but still trending towards freezing, so definitely turning colder. And if we do just check with the ECMWF, again, the latest midday run doesn't quite extend out beyond the 20th of December, but again, you can see the same evolution out to the 20th of December. And if we go beyond that, by having a look at the midnight run, you can see there is a dip in the longer term. Not quite as distinctive as the GFS, but below average. You can see, though, that no data was here from around the 20th to the 21st, unfortunately. So we can't see exactly how it evolves and the days leading up to this dip, but you can see it goes from well above average with higher pressure to quite far below average there by a few degrees by the 22nd of December. So ECMWF perhaps not quite as bullish, but still showing a similar evolution. So it is going to be very interesting seeing what's going to go on over the next few days. A lot of you watching are very interested to see what is going to be happening over the Christmas. Not only for the fact that you're travelling, you've got plans, and you don't want it to be horrible. And secondly, a lot of people would like a white Christmas or would like some snow around to make it feel more magical and wintry, more special. So sort of two reasons why people are going to be very interested to see what's going to happen over the next few weeks. If you are looking for a white Christmas, if you are looking for wintry weather around the Christmas period into the new year, I would say this year, from the looks of it, definitely has more higher than average chance. And remember, average is pretty low indeed. So I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's definitely a lot higher than it has been the past few years and has been generally over the past sort of couple of decades, or what we generally see. So it is looking encouraging if you want a white Christmas, but we will have to keep a very close eye on it. Remember, it could be actually very cold on Christmas, but we could see no snow. So we've got to get the evolution correct, which is something we're going to have to look at in the next sort of week to 10 days. And then the days following that, we'll have to shore up the detail of any potential winteriness. So we'll just have to see what happens, but not looking like it's going to be bitterly cold for at least the next 10 days. So we've got another sort of 4 or 5 days of unsettled westerly winds to get through. Then we've got high pressure building in, and then we will see what happens. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.